So we did a thing.
We did.
This was not quite an impulse buy. It's something we've always wanted to buy, but when the offer presents itself, you have to go with it. We wanted to make over a pop-up camper.
So we had a friend of ours who had this camper, and he bought a large travel trailer. So he gave us a really good deal on this.
But it's kind of rough.
It needs some work. There's a little bit of leaking in the roof along the edges. Easy to fix. And then we're going to just get new canvas. But for now, we're going to like get all this, like spray off all the mildew and everything. But this is a 2005 Fleetwood Utah. It's got 2 king-size beds.
Because
so one on each end.
Sleep separate. I'm not sharing.
It's got a microwave. It's got a refrigerator. It's got a stove. It's got a sink. It's got a shower. It does not have a toilet.
That's all right.
But the most important thing to go camping in Florida is...
it has an air conditioner.
it has a working air conditioner.
That's a huge pro. I mean, it looks very dated. It looks like my parents would totally be comfortable in this, with this like 80s vibe that's got going on here.
Except for it was built in 2005.
Yeah, that's weird. But definitely by somebody who embraced the 80s.
So over the next couple of months, we're going to renovate this. So we ended up buying a pop-up camper. And I know right now you're probably thinking like, that is the most ridiculous impulse purchase I've ever heard of. But it really wasn't an impulse purchase for us.
It was something that we've been wanting to do pretty much our entire marriage, but price is a thing for us. We always make sure that we have enough cash to pay for something outright. We don't want to go into mortgage for anything. So we had to wait until one came on the market that was super affordable.
Yeah, I mean, when we used to go camping with the kids when they were little, I mean, Rachel used to always stare at those pop-up campers and be like, I really want one of those things because I want air conditioning. And I was always like, that's not really camping. But I think a pop-up camper is like a good compromise because we're still in a tent, but we have air conditioning and we have a little bit of protection in case there's rain, because the bottom line is we live in Florida.
I don't care what level of air mattress we got, how nice it was, how expensive it was. I always wound up on the ground in wet some morning during the camping trip when we were tent camping, and I was like, I just want to wake up differently.
Yeah, so we bought this pop-up camper, but when we got it, it was
rough.
It had good bones, but it was rough. And one of the first things that we found was there's a roof leak. And we knew about this when we bought it. And the old owner is actually a friend of ours, and he did tell us. But when we looked inside, most of what we saw from the issue was it was like on the curtains. So it wasn't like the main roof was leaking. And we did think that it was a possibility that it was just the air conditioner.
Yeah, and he was like the 5th person who owned this thing. So I think that it was somewhere along the line, it just started spiraling out of control. And somebody tried to fix it, but they didn't fix it very well.
Yeah, and so when we got it, knowing it had a roof leak, before we even purchased it, we did do a bunch of research, like how bad would it be with a roof leak? And if I had to, could I rebuild the roof? And we did decide we would be able to rebuild the roof. It would be a tremendous amount of work, and it would mean not being able to use the camper at all for probably like 6 months while I was doing that. But we figured we'll start somewhere, and what I ended up finding was the problem was on the corners of the roof. And you can see here, some owner somewhere decided that he was just going to duct tape the corners.
That doesn't do everything. Somebody read one of those funny books that said that like everything in the world can be fixed with a strip of duct tape. That is not true. We just proved that.
Yeah. So what we ended up doing was filling all of that in with a sealing foam, then covered everything with rubber, and from there then did a complete rubber coating over the whole roof. Unfortunately, what we didn't realize was there was still another problem, and that is it was a design flaw by Coleman where the roof is made out of 3 pieces of metal and they join underneath the roof racks. Well, that was no longer sealed, so we had to go back and reseal that. But in the end, everything came out good. And so what we want to do is just kind of take you guys along on our process of renovating this camper from where we got it to where it is now.
While we're getting there, we filled in the end caps, we sealed them, we've painted the roof with a special rubber polymer that people use on the roofs down here in Florida. It's supposed to last 10 years. Now we decided to, let's give this just a little bit of color, and the end caps that we're covering all of those holes, we're painting them a blue. And it's gonna go all the way across on both corners. And then now Rachel's making me paint the bottom.
Yeah, because we took the stickers off. The stickers were kind of super dated. Although we love Utah, we did not love the stickers.
So it's day 4 of owning this pop-up camper. It is a lot bigger than it looks. It's 26 feet long when you open everything up. We've gotten a lot done in 4 days. We repaired the roof. We've painted the side of the trailer. And then over here is part of the bench that becomes one of the beds because we're about to paint the inside. So we've gotten a lot done. You can see everything's been taped off, ready to paint today. Rachel already had a bunch of stuff in here, but I've pretty much taken 50% of this thing apart. We do need to make curtains. Neither one of us are very good at sewing, so we're going to attempt it. I wish I knew somebody who knew how to sew, because these things have these special clips. Let me show them to you. And these clips clip like onto this, and they're right here, and these things are actually sewn into the drapes. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can modify it to not use that. I don't know what to do yet. So anyway, we'd like to have some curtains made. I know how to re-cushion, so I'm gonna re-cushion. We're gonna paint all of this today, but it looks 1,000 times better. And you can see down there, we were testing some colors. We're gonna go with a very light gray because that'll match the countertops, and then I don't have to redo the countertops. We also had an electrical problem, which I fixed. Well, it doesn't look like much yet, but she is painted. Now this wall here, we gave it like one coat, but that all gets covered up by the couch/bench. So we just figured like we got it there. Same thing with inside of these storage cabinets. I mean, the only thing you really see is this center part. But yeah, so far so good. Coming together. Now we're gonna do the floor. So we had a pretty productive Saturday. The last thing that you saw was I had everything taped off, and I'd also had like all of these counters and this bench and this one over here taken out. Now in one day we got everything taped off, we got it all painted, and I did the floors. So next up on the list is to recover the cushions. There's a set of cushions that goes there. There's a set of cushions that goes here. And then all of these doors, I actually made new doors. Completely just cut them out of 3/4 inch wood. I cut them, I routed the edges. I just have to paint them and then mount them. So we're gonna do that today. And then after that, we still have to figure out what we're gonna do with curtains. So these are the cushions. Like I said, built in 2005, but I don't know. Every Coleman from like 1990 to 2005 had the same pattern.
Yeah, we said 80s, but I definitely think it's at least 90s.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take off these covers just because, I don't know. But below it, there's something easy to work with, and it's just a piece of foam and a board. So we're gonna just reupholster these ourselves. So what we're gonna do, since neither one of us have like awesome sewing skills,
I definitely don't.
Rachel picked this pattern out, which I really like. what is this, like an outdoor fabric, right?
It is, and it looks kind of beachy, I think.
Best part is we got it at 70% off. So I think we bought like 6.5 yards. It should have been like $150 and we paid $30.
Because not only did we get the 70% off, but Joanne, thank you for all of her text messaging, had a 20% off additional off your purchase.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it down and we're gonna wrap it. We're gonna make it tight, and then we're gonna just staple everything on here, and then we can change it whenever we want, and we don't have to sew or hire an upholsterer. Not bad, considering neither one of us know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what we did was we wrapped it, then stapled it to the back of the board.
Staple the crap out of it. Welcome to our home, everybody.
So we're gonna start off right here. We still have some work to do. Like, I'm gonna put some vinyl decals. We're gonna like design something. But we do have this thing set up, even though we do have somebody who keeps calling code enforcement because we have it set up.
We have a nut in the neighborhood.
So we're gonna start off right here on the outside. We have no intentions on doing any cooking inside.
No.
So we bought this Blackstone grill. Now the lid was separate. We ordered that online. I'll leave a link for it down below. But we bought this piece itself from Target. It's a 17-inch Blackstone. It works off of those little propane canisters, but you can hook it up to a regular one, and then you'll see this hose that I have inside that's just for storage. It hooks up to here, and then if you look down there, the other end hooks into there. What we did was I made a table. So there's this little latch that people hang grills on. So I went and got a piece of teak butcher block. I put these two little pieces on here. They're supposed to be for screwing into the wall, but now what we do is we just hang this on here, and then you just drop those down. And what happens is that will actually support the table. Then when we're done, take it off, fold these down, and then this can go inside the trailer for storage. So this outlet cover is not the one for this camper. I just happen to have this one. I'm gonna change it out, but the one that they actually sell for the camper is like $25. So I'm just gonna get like a $3 low profile. We changed this out to LED lights. So we got a little light for the outside. Then we'll come on inside. First thing you're gonna notice is we have a Berkey.
The Berkey.
This is the travel size Berkey. It holds 1 and I think 1/4 gallons, and we're just gonna keep it in the trailer. Right now, obviously nothing in here. And this one does have 2 of the black filters as well. So we have that for our water. There is below here, there is a stove here, but again, we have no intentions on using this other than maybe like boiling water for coffee or something like that. But we're not gonna do any cooking or anything inside because we don't want like all of the grease splatter and everything.
No, we do not.
So we're pretty much using it as a countertop. Maybe we'll find a cutting board or something for that. We have a microwave. It does work. There was a refrigerator down here. We've opted to remove the refrigerator. We're not throwing it out, we're gonna save it. Maybe one day we'll get a Dometic one, which those things actually work well, but they're like $750. And instead, we got ourselves an Engel cooler. So this is the Engel 50 quart. It's the high 50. Holds ice for like 10 days. We've got a divider, and the divider is waterproof, so you can actually put all of your ice in one side and the water won't go to the other side. They do sell baskets for it, but they were sold out. But this actually will give us more room than using the refrigerator, and those refrigerators, it was like a dorm room refrigerator. Those things just don't get very cold to begin with. So one of the things that Rachel did request as we were modifying everything was some type of a toilet for emergencies, mostly like overnight or if we decide to go boondocking, so she doesn't have to go poop in the woods. So we removed one of the cabinets and just bought one of these little porta potties. Now, we weren't able to use the countertop that was on there, so we just made one out of plywood. Now, the light's kind of like hitting it funny, but it's like one of those textured paints. So that's why it kind of looks dark in some areas and light in others.
All right, so I wanted to show one detail because maybe there's somebody else out there like us that just cannot really sew.
Ignore the bad sewing job.
Yeah, so we already had these clips in place. If you're buying, you know, a used trailer, they probably come with these clips, but let's say you have to replace the curtains like we did. We just super glued one half of a Velcro to the existing clips, and then that way we could just sew the other side of it to the curtain, and that way we could use the existing system.
Don't I have beautiful, beautiful stitching?
You know, in the big scheme of things, when you pan out like this, you don't even notice it, and we were able to get a lot of curtain coverage by doing it this way.
So why don't you take the other side, but you're gonna have to be quick because it's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. We'll keep our clothes on, don't worry. Okay, so this is the dining room. We recovered the seats using the same indoor-outdoor fabric that we used for the curtains, and I love it. It's super easy to wash. And we repainted the table. This table collapses, and you can actually take it outside of the camper as well. But we painted it with chalkboard paint because we thought we could play games like tic-tac-toe or something when we're sitting at the dining room table.
Now underneath each of the benches, we have storage. Over here is where we store like the Blackstone. In the back over there is where we'll actually store, you know, the Berkey. And then over here, when you fold down, the cushions all go in there.
So on this side is a nice long couch. Again, I mean, this is such a huge unit once it's all opened up. But we refinished this, and
that
nice.
folds out to become a twin size bed.
Yeah, and there's lots of storage under here.
So we have a drawer there, and then there's two just like kind of shove everything in there. It's not like organized or anything like that. It's how much can you fit in there?
How much can you fit in there? Because let me tell you, it has to be inside of the compartment because there's no negotiation when it collapses.
The key to packing this thing is being really good with Jenga. The only thing that we will have is about a 3-foot hallway space, which is where we're gonna put like our pop-up screen house and things like that.
I am so good at Tetris. You should see me load the dishwasher. It's amazing. So over here, Joe changed out the outlets.
Well, we added an outlet.
For the
So
20,
we got 4
20.
USBs.
Yes.
Down there is the whole control box for all the electrical. We do have a heater, though it's disconnected. In there is electrical storage, so the whole main electrical wire goes in there, and then we also have a couple of tools stored in there.
And you actually changed out the panel too.
Yeah, we put a brand new electrical control box. The other one was working, but it was 15 years old.
I don't like to not be confident.
And the whole point of that thing is control all of the electric and charge the battery. And the entire place was running on 1 circuit breaker. So I added 3 circuit breakers.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys remember how disgusting this canopy was when we got it. We put a lot of elbow grease into it and got it all clean.
Yeah, when we first got it, it was really gross, and we thought we were going to have to buy a new canvas, but it turned out to clean up pretty nicely. So you can see it was a lot of work. It took us about 2 weeks to get the camper to where it is now, and a few warnings from code enforcement.
But this labor of love has come to fruition, and now it's kind of hard to remember all of the sweat and muscle soreness that went with building it back up, because now we're on vacation, our very first vacation, and we are loving this pop-up camper and looking forward to a lot of vacations together. Maybe some travels to get to see everybody.
Yeah. Now, if you like videos like this, make sure you check out the whole playlist, which you're going to find right down there. And don't forget to check out our most recent video, which you can find right over here.
But whether you check out this or you check out that, don't forget to check out this and subscribe to our channel. And that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.